My name is Athena Hayes. I came to NTCC as a student in 2013, and I came back as an employee in 2022. As a student, I chose NTCC to ease myself from high school into higher ed. I didn't feel very sure of myself, so this was a great way to transition. As far as choosing it as an employee, I chose it because it's one of the greatest places to work. So I think one of the main benefits of a community college is right there in the title, which is community. NTCC really focuses on the community aspect of a community college. Oftentimes when you're going to a really large school and you're starting at a four-year, besides the financial burden that can cause, a lot of students feel very, very lost. They don't know how to make friends on those large campuses. They don't know how to interact with their professors. At a community college like this one, you have much more opportunities to speak with those professors and work with them one-on-one because they're not as overwhelmed with so many classes and so many students. And in NTCC, that's even more highlighted. I see professors staying here well after their hours to make sure that students feel helped. I see staff members whose job it isn't even really to help students directly, walking students around campus, making sure they know how to get the resources they need, working with those students until they are sure they understand what's going on and where they need to go. And you don't get that as a lot of places, not just at big universities, but even other community college aren't as dedicated to their student body as NTCC is. So I would really recommend not just community college, specifically our community college for starting out. A big change that I've noticed on our campus is the development of our tutoring centers, which I had a hand in. When I first came here, it was very small. We had only recently cleared out this space. Before that, I worked here briefly as a tutor in 2018, and we just stationed them around with these signs. We didn't have a set tutoring center. Now we have an established tutoring center, and we also have about 7 or so tutors a semester doing work in various subjects and helping students. And that's something that's really improved student retention and helped them. We also see a lot of developments on campus with different departments. We just recently got our Eagle's Nest Pavilion. That has been great for students. It seems like every year we try really hard as a campus to add improvements and developments to our campus for the sake of our students so that they can have the best time possible here. So when I first came here, Erica Garza was the Title V director, and tutoring was a recent Title V project. Again, I worked here briefly as a tutor in 2018 or so, and it was just kind of sporadic on campus. We had people stationed at little areas across campus. Maybe we had 1 or 2. Even when we opened up these centers, we had maybe 1 writing tutor, and we had 2 very excellent STEM tutors. And because I worked as a tutor here, I worked as a tutor at LeTourneau, and I worked as a tutor at SFA, tutoring is something I had a lot of personal experience with. And I know it can really, really help students, not just academically with students who need the tutoring, but it's a really great opportunity for students when that's sometimes their first job they've ever had to work in an academic setting like this. So I really wanted to push to have more development in our tutoring centers. And I'm really proud of the efforts I've put in to get more tutors in. We have 7 right now in many different subjects, and I want to continue forward with that, making sure we have the best tutors possible for our campus. The opportunities I've given these students, I really hope they enjoy working in the centers. I've worked hard to get good supplies in the centers and make it just a nice place for students to hang out and study. And I just hope that that continues as something that students can have as a resource to make sure that they can succeed academically. NTCC has shaped me not only as an academic, but as a young woman. When I first came to NTCC, I had just moved to Texas a couple months prior. It was still culture shock for me. I also had never taken college level courses before, obviously, and that beginning skills in critical thinking and that influence from professors like Mandy Smith really helped me understand where I wanted to go in life and what sort of things that I wanted to study. And without NTCC, I probably wouldn't have ended up studying English, especially not folklore or any of these big projects that I'm working on, without the opportunities and the spark that this little college has given me, and the spark that my employers have given me when I worked here part-time and then transitioned to full-time. So when I first came to NTCC as a student, I came because my father encouraged me to start my academics. And I had just graduated high school, and my first instinct was, there's no way I can do college. I'm very scared. And he pushed me and was like, no, you can definitely do it. I was like, there's no way I can do it. And then as I continued in school, my first semester, I had class with Mandy Smith, and that was my English class. And I felt really happy in that class. She's such a great professor. And I felt comfortable, and I felt like I was getting good at that subject. And then eventually I became part of her Eagle writing staff. I worked with her in creative writing classes. I was part of the first team to create our literary magazine on campus, Len Yap. The first volume was the year that I was here. And I realized that I liked college. I liked it. I didn't think I would be able to be good at it. And I realized that that was really a special thing for me. So then I would go on to transfer to LeTourneau for my 4-year. I finished out with my BA, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do next. I knew that I majored in English, and I wasn't sure where to go from there. And I took part-time work here, again, because Mandy happened to see my family in the grocery store and said, hey, we have an opening at NTCC for grading positions. And so I took the opportunity again, and I began working. And while I was working here, a professor needed surgery, and Anna Ingram and Mandy asked me to fill in for that professor. And my first thought, again, was there's no way that I can do that. There's no way. I've never taught a class before. I can't do that. And they said, no, you'll be good at it. You'll be able to do it. And in doing that, I realized that I really liked teaching at a college level. So Anna Ingram encouraged me to go on and get my master's. I got my master's at SFA. I had a lovely experience there. I came back and applied for the full-time professor position here, and I didn't get it. Someone else pursued that position, but Anna came to me and said, listen, we still want you on campus, we still want you to work here. And that's when she began to teach me about the Title V position. And when she showed me what that position would entail, again, I was like, there's no way that I can do that. There's no way. I've never done anything like that before. But I knew that Anna believed in me. So I took on the job, and now it's been a really great opportunity for me. I love this job. I love what I'm able to do to improve our campus and the lives of our students. And it just goes to show that NTCC is not just a school. It's not just a corporate entity. It's a collection of people that individually encourage others to do the best that they can, even when they're afraid. Happy 40th anniversary, NTCC.